Hi, I'm Judy. I'm a registered dietitian. Thanks for stopping by. Whether you're live or you're watching the re-recorded broadcast, let me know in the comment section where you're coming in from. I'm in Wyoming. Like I said, I'm a registered dietitian. I'm also a food blogger and recipe developer. I'm the author of a book, Your 6-Week Guide to Live Best, which is available on Amazon. But I invite you to check out my website at livebest.info. As a dietitian, I know that food can be delicious and nutritious. And my goal is to help you power up your fork with foods that move you forward. So that's my goal in my business. But today I'm talking about 3 steps to help you with meal planning, meal prep. When I spend some time thinking about what I'm going to be eating in the next week, it really does control some of the chaos of the week. It also helps me be more comfortable because I know that I have healthy foods available, those foods that are going to move me forward. So let me know if you struggle with meal prep, but let's also talk about what these 3 easy steps are to meal prep. The first one is to survey. That's to open up your cupboard to see if you have what you have available in your kitchen to help you plan some meals. So survey in your cupboard, your fridge, or your freezer. What's available? Maybe you have some broccoli that's hanging out in the crisper drawer that you could turn into a broccoli soup. Or maybe you have a can of tomatoes in the cupboard that you could simmer with some garlic, add in a can of olives and maybe a can of tuna or some clams to make a pasta sauce. When you survey what you already have, it helps save money. It reduces food waste, but it's also a way to springboard some thought processes and just get you thinking about what you can work into your menu this week. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is to do some planning. And I like to think about doing 3 menus for the week. I just think just 3 helps ease the confusion of the week because it gives you a solid footing. So when you're planning, of course, think about the foods that you've already identified you want to work with. But in your planning, maybe you want to think about theme nights. Maybe you like a soup night. Maybe you like Taco Tuesday. Maybe you want to make a plant-based meal. So that's one way to plan, is based on themes. Another way might be with cuisines. If you like Mexican food, you might want a Mexican night. Maybe you want Italian night. Maybe you want to bring Asian food in one night into your menu. Not takeout because you're cooking this, but that can be a way to springboard that planning to just make it easier, so you're not grappling with the universe. You're just trying to bring in ideas to help you focus. When you get that planning going, you can jot it down on a Post-it note. You can enter it on your phone. Or if you're interested, I have a meal prep list for the week. And shoot me an email or DM me on Facebook and I can email it to you. I know this is backwards on the video, but it's just one sheet that I use to jot down ideas. So after you've planned, then you start your preparation for either your shopping or your cooking. One thing that I really try to think about when I'm doing my menu planning is how to get more fiber-rich foods into my meals. And so that's a goal that I am always thinking about. I like lean protein and I like fiber. So those are things that I work in when I'm developing recipes. If you visit my website at livebest.info, you'll find there are not a lot of brownie recipes. In fact, there's not one brownie recipe because I don't think most of us need another brownie or chocolate cake recipe. We really need to figure out what's for dinner with foods that deliver some health benefits. So fiber and lean protein are really where I try to focus. I challenge myself, what can I do with a can of beans this week? How can I work that in? But after you've done the planning, then it's time to cook. Sundays work for me. So I set aside about an hour, generally earlier in the afternoon when I start to do some of my meal prep. Sundays may not work for you, but you find the time that works for you. But I call it my power hour in the kitchen. And sometimes I turn on music and, kind of dance around to it. And sometimes I just really enjoy the solitude. But when I'm in that kitchen cooking, I'm multitasking. And what I think about is when I turn on the oven and generally start by toasting some nuts. Walnuts or almonds are what I toast most weeks. This morning I sprinkled walnuts on some cottage cheese with some berries that I defrosted in the microwave. That was my breakfast. I know at 3 p.m. I'm going to be ready for a snack. And I find that a handful of toasted almonds and a piece of fruit or maybe a few pieces of dried apricot or some prunes is a better snack than I'm going to find in the cookie jar. So that meal prep really helps just throughout the week. And that was just toasted nuts. But since the oven's on, I also bake oatmeal. So I make an 8x8 pan of baked oatmeal. I have a couple of recipes for baked oatmeal at livebest.info. You can check that out if you need some recipe ideas. But what I also know is that I've just solved my breakfast problem because the baked oatmeal lasts throughout the week and I can scoop into it as I need to, but it really makes mornings easier, controls the chaos in the morning. I also roast vegetables and, those vary from week to week, but I like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, carrots, onions, peppers. And because the oven's on, it's just one more sheet pan in the oven, but then I use those throughout the week. I might fill a taco shell with them. I might top pizza with them. I might add them to soups that I'm making, or more, I'll add them to salads. I love like roasted butternut squash added to a green salad. I think it really adds a nice flavor dimension, and it also boosts the nutrition. Plus, I'll sprinkle some of those toasted nuts into that salad. So there I've used just 2 examples of my meal prep on Sunday of how I'm using those throughout the week. What else? Oh, I bake potatoes. And so I might just throw in a couple of potatoes or sweet potatoes and then use those later in the week. Maybe to top broccoli and cheese, I'll put over a potato. I'll maybe put black beans and corn with a little bit of salsa verde over a sweet potato. So those are ways that I'm planning ahead, plant-based meal, but using Sunday to make it a little bit easier. So I'm not baking a potato for an hour on a weeknight. I also hard cook eggs, and you can do that in your Instant Pot if you want. It makes it a breeze to peel those eggs, but also sometimes I'll boil them. I use those eggs for breakfast. I like them for lunch, but they're also a great snack. I might make an egg salad. So on my website, I have a curry egg salad recipe where I use curry powder and mix that into the egg salad. And it changes up egg salad, but I love that the spices add a little bit more phytochemicals to the food, but I love the flavor of curry. I might sprinkle in some dried cranberries into that curried egg salad. So eggs are often on my menu because I just really believe they're an economical way to bring protein in, but I also really like how easy they are to cook, and then they're available in the fridge when I need them. So then after I've cooked the eggs, I'll often cook a whole grain. It might be wheat berries, or it might be spelt. It might be that I'm simmering some brown rice. And that way I can store that in the refrigerator and add that into things that I might be making. I think a whole grain is a really nice addition to a green salad. So I could add the butternut squash and some spelt grains into a salad. And there again, I'm boosting the fiber and the protein when I do that. And I'm doing it in one pot, which I really like. So I've used the pot to cook the eggs, and then I use the pot to simmer those whole grains. Also, yesterday I simmered a pot of soup. I made some lentil soup, and that's just a really nice way to take advantage of the time that I'm in the kitchen. I've also got now a dinner and perhaps a couple of lunches and another high fiber food. So if you don't like lentil soup, you might do beef and barley. You could do a chili, a white bean chicken chili, split pea, or use that broccoli to make a broccoli soup. But having a pot of soup is just such a great fallback for dinner during a busy week. Sometimes I might blend hummus or a bean dip while I'm in the kitchen. I mentioned trying to challenge myself to use a can of beans, and a bean dip is a great way to do that. I just blend a can of drained beans with some herbs. I'll squeeze lemon in that, pour in a little bit of olive oil, and then some dried red chili flakes. I do have a recipe for white bean dip on my website at livebest.info, but I'll use bean dip with vegetables as a breakfast. I'll pack it for lunch, but it's also just a nice little snack when you get home from work and you're starving and trying to get dinner on the table. There's something good. Again, food that moves you forward is already available and in the fridge. So those are a couple of examples of ways that I am cooking food that's going to carry me into the week. For proteins, if you're baking chicken, bake double the recipe, so you can wrap those up, store them in the fridge, and use those throughout the week, again, to fill a tortilla shell or to top a pizza. If you're browning ground beef, do an extra package so you have some that's cooked and ready to go. So I like to think about it once and then let it extend throughout the week so that I'm not starting from scratch every single time. I kind of joke that my secret sauce is realistic food solutions with foods that move you forward. So let me know if you can relate to that, but also let me know if you struggle with that. Leave a comment in the comment box about what you struggle with your healthy eating. As we wrap things up today, it's National Nutrition Month, so that's why I'm going live and sharing some tips. I'll be back next Monday, but in the meantime, like I said, leave a comment in the comment box about what you struggle with. Head over to my website at livebest.info to see if there are some recipe ideas that you might be able to implement this week so you have some high quality fast food that's ready when you need it. The bottom line is when you employ these 3 steps of surveying, planning, and doing some cooking, you really do reduce your stress and you save time and money. And those are 3 things I want more of. So I work hard to do that. And I hope I've provided you with some information to reduce your stress, to save you time and money, and to boost your health. Because my business is called Live Best, and the tagline is, you must be present to win. That means that you're showing up in your own life to live the life you want and to live with vitality. I think meal planning just moves us that much closer to living the life we want to. So thanks for joining me. Again, leave a comment, give me a shout out, tag friends that you think might benefit from this information, but I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.